Army Medical Museum, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. Which is close to San Antonio. Shooting only the Reaper. It's pretty cool the way they got it. It looks like it's still doing some construction or whatever in here, you know, I'm guessing the way they got them piled up, they didn't make it. It's pretty cool stuff in here though. All the museums I've been to around here has the temperature and humidity inside of the box. It looks like a lot of these areas are still being set up or under construction or something in here. Now I got this whole, please excuse our appearance. The next exhibit, progress. Okay, so there's stuff in progress in here. There's the Soldier's Cross. Somber and symbol. I love this type of stuff, y'all. Body barrier kit, fluid barrier kit. Look at that. Rocket propelled grenade fragment. In other words, that got hit by a rocket propelled grenade in the window. Exactly what that means. Yes. There's some cool stuff up in here. Is that dealing with a dolphin? The birdie, the doggy, and whatever them things are. That's cool. Doing stuff with the thing too. That's why I'm in the museum, so I don't know much about it. I look around and see what we can see. Woodland camouflage battle dress uniform. Colonel Mark S. Taylor Medical Corps wore this uniform while deployed in Bosnia with the 212th Mass in 1996. Taylor, as a surgeon, was stationed at the U.S. Army Hospital of Heidelberg, Germany. Probably Hindenburg, I don't know. Prior to his deployment, the 12th Mass had initially arrived in Bosnia in November 1992, part of the United Nations Protection Force. The mission of the 212th was to provide health care and patient holding area for troops representing 33 different countries. And I'm going to yawn. And there's the uniform he wore over there. Says there's stuff from Vietnam in here too, but so far I've seen Soviet. This piece of equipment designed for sterilization surgical instruments by a field medical unit was captured by the U.S. Army in Grenada in 1983. The main components of it are one steam boiler, 2 2 horizontal sterilizers, a liquid fuel tank, and 1 hand pump. Note the slightly different Red Cross insignia on the. Also note the Russian-made tires. So yeah, that's different than us. But that's the sterilization. Right there. Made in the USSR, that's how you know it's old. Right there, the year, 1972. That's how old that thing is, made in 1972. What is this? Listen up.
Vietnam was America's longest war. Like Korea, it was an extension of the Cold War between East and West. Like any war, it was a life and death struggle for personnel of the Army Medical Department. Technology played a big role in the battles and treatment of the casualties. The medical unit, self-contained transportable, or MUST unit, was deployed by the 45th Surgical Hospital for the first time. Its inflatable modular units were easily moved, but didn't hold up well to rocket attack. The big success story was helicopter evacuation. UH-1 Huey air ambulance crews became legendary for their skill and bravery under fire. Medevac flights coordinated by radio averaged 35 minutes, allowing distribution of wounded to the best hospital care. The wounded who reached the hospital had a 97.5 survival rate. In a country with no secure roads or fixed fronts, the Medevac helicopter was essential to getting the wounded to treatment as quickly as possible. In each war since World War I the U.S. has been involved in, the Army has rediscovered the usefulness of military dogs. This was especially true in the early advisory days of the Vietnam War. British success in using dogs to contain communist insurgents in Malaysia prompted the idea of a military dog program for Vietnam. The program had to be improvised from the outset. Importing, training, feeding, and maintaining working dogs, especially in the tropics, is a complicated business. The dogs were effective, however. The Viet Cong believed that the dogs could be trained to pick them out of the general population, for example, and considered them second only to the helicopter as a threat. Finding food for scout and sentry dogs proved to be a problem in a country where dogs themselves are considered part of the food chain. Veterinary Corps personnel found that human food inspection was an important and growing mission as U.S. forces continued to build up. Just finding uncontaminated ice was a problem. By 1967, Saigon alone was using 100 tons a day. Desert Storm was a massive deployment of American military might. It demonstrated our ability to move huge numbers of personnel halfway around the world and win a significant victory. From the military medical standpoint, though, Desert Storm was significant for what didn't happen. We did not sustain large numbers of casualties, though we were prepared for them. Our troops were not attacked with chemical or biological weapons. This may have been simply because we had largely neutralized Iraqi artillery, which would have been used to deliver such weapons. It may have been fear of our retaliation had they been used. The medical legacy of Desert Storm is controversy over the causes of Gulf War syndrome. As the name suggests, there's probably no single cause. Oil well fires, insecticides, vaccines, and depleted uranium ammunition have all been implicated. Army Medical Department personnel had to improvise, as they have in every war, to keep the care they provide the best available. Surrendered Iraqi conscripts, who turned out to be most of their patients, certainly benefited. Mandatory vaccination has always been controversial, most recently with anthrax immunization for our armed forces. The military has often been in the forefront of preventive immunization, beginning with George Washington's orders for inoculation against smallpox for the Continental Army in 1777. When thousands of troops were mobilized along the Mexican border in 1911, Army-developed anti-typhoid vaccine was made mandatory for the Army and Navy. Only one case was reported, a civilian teamster who had refused the treatment. Anthrax is getting most of the attention right now as the first biological agent to actually be used against us. Of the dozens of infectious agents considered for weapons, anthrax was a logical choice. Since infected humans are not contagious, the weapon has a one-way ticket, thereby reducing the danger of uncontrolled epidemic. The Soviet Union spent a great deal on weaponized anthrax until an accidental release in 1979 killed dozens of people in Sverdlovsk.
I forgot the film inside that museum. Here you go. There's a stretcher.
I will leave.
This one's got those temperature gauges and what do you call it? Humidity gauges like they had up there at the Alamo. Vietnamese floating fishing boat. Yeah. A lot of lives over there, yeah. Viet Cong foot trap. Imagine you get your foot stuck in that thing, y'all.
Yep.
Imagine how it feels getting your foot.
They would poison them.
Yeah.
They would kiss on them and put some kind of poison in. Punji sticks. That's what they say. Whenever you put your foot in that, you can't get it out. I've seen some of these over there.
This is a Vietnam case here.
Huh?
Look at that. The Jeeps. I kind of figured they might have a thing out here for Match Roll 77. Man, it's restored 22 years ago. Here's where I'm looking at. I go outside in a minute, but right now, check this out, y'all. There's stuff outside we can look at too, but look at that thing. I know I'm weird about this, but it's pretty cool. It's how I'm always quieter in museums. You know, that thing is a rough riding joker going around. Check it out. It says something about surgical stuff from the Civil War in here. There's the tag letting them know what's going on with him. That's what they do. They tag you. Let you know what's going on with it. Old school radio. Look at that old school radio. Old school radio. Type of radio where you listen to your TV shows, we call them nowadays. World War One, World War One. Where's the Civil War? Oh, look at that. 1916 evidence. And sorry about that camera view, y'all. I was looking at something else. That one you can stack 4 people inside of it. This one here, you can put 4 people inside of him. This is a 1917 model. And here is the old school. Now, I know from experience, these things are very rough riding. I would really hate to be injured inside one of them. Alright, I'm back in the lobby area. I wonder what brand of motorcycle that is. Let's go see if I can find it. It says something about what you call it? What's this stuff? There's the Civil War right there. Boom. Bullet probe. Bullet forceps. Surgical stuff from the Civil War right here, y'all. A Civil War era surgeon's case. Let's do it that way so you can actually see it without the reflection. How about that? Put the phone down on that. That's for amputation. Floating scalpels. Of course, that wasn't Civil War. That's modern day right there. Civil War case ain't lit up very well over there. Of course, I have to sell a U.S. one instead of Confederate. Hydrometer. Civil War era electric machine. So that's a urethra. Urethra, you know where that went. Post-mortem, in other words, dead. Autopsies. Dissecting kit. Stethoscope. Another stethoscope. Another stethoscope. Look in the Civil War. Whiskey flask. And sometimes that's what they gave you instead of, they didn't have anything else. They gave you that. Surgical canteen. Hot water bottle. 12-pack of tourniquets. The tourniquet out in the field. Alright, Civil War leg splints and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Now let's go outside and check out that stuff. Nope, didn't mean to. The iron lung. Now you have. Yeah, you definitely didn't have much room inside of them. And you can see all you see coming out is the head. Everything else is inside the lung.
General anesthesia was demonstrated publicly for the first time at Massachusetts General Hospital on 16 October 1846, a date still commemorated at that institution as Ether Day. Controlled narcosis, or at least the reduction of pain, had been the goal of surgeons for centuries. The problem was that while a state of unconsciousness is easily achieved, revival is not. Traditional methods to that point involved drugs like hashish, opium, mandrake, and alcohol. Some tried dangerous mechanical means, such as a blow to the head or partial suffocation. One physician with an apparently high-strung clientele recommended inducing a faint by means of a brutal remark. The Army used ether as an anesthetic for the first time at Veracruz during the Mexican War in 1847. Surgeon John Porter wrote that ether poisoned the blood and left the wound in an unfavorable position for recovery, vowing never to use it again. Fortunately for tens of thousands of Civil War wounded, Porter's opinions had been refuted by 1861. Ether and chloroform are used widely by surgeons of both North and South for amputations, the most common surgical procedure. The first and only woman to receive a commission in the Confederate Army was Sally Tompkins. In the early days of the Civil War, all sorts of public and private buildings in Richmond were pressed into emergency service as military hospitals. One such home, owned by Judge Robertson, was converted by Miss Tompkins at her own expense. Of the 1,333 patients treated there, only 74 died, a phenomenal statistic for the Civil War. Shortly after Robertson Hospital opened, President Jefferson Davis decided to turn all private hospitals over to the Confederate Medical Service. Given the success of Miss Tompkins' work, Davis commissioned her as Captain of Cavalry, unassigned. Captain Sally continued to operate Robertson Hospital until 13 June 1865. After the war, she continued her philanthropic work, depleting her personal fortune to the point where she was compelled to live in Richmond's Home for Confederate Women. Sally Tompkins died in 1916 at the age of 83. She was buried with full military honors. Civil War surgeon William Alexander Hammond, at 6 feet 2 and 230 pounds, was a larger-than-life-size character. He was a brilliant medical researcher whose scientific reputation got him appointed over the heads of the military medical establishment at the age of 34. But it was his contentious personality that led to his later removal in disgrace. He was thrown out of Secretary of War Stanton's office at their first meeting, for example. While Surgeon General, Hammond instituted a number of reforms and programs in the medical department. Some were met with resistance, such as the removal of the dangerous mercurial drug calomel from supply tables. He established the first Army Medical Museum and laid the groundwork for a multi-volume medical history of the Civil War. His proposal for an enlisted hospital corps would not be implemented until 1887. Like many reformers, Hammond made enemies along the way. They used irregularities in procurement to bring him to court-martial and dismissal from the Union Army. Hammond petitioned Congress to reconvene his trial in 1878, at which time he was exonerated. Before the Civil War, commanders used hospital duty to rid themselves of drunkards, malingerers, and the generally incompetent. Civil War hospital stewards proved to be far more capable, serving as ward masters, nurses, pharmacists, and even dentists. But they did not have a defined career path to follow in the Army. The role of the Army changed in the late 19th century from frontier constabulary to expeditionary force. Congress was urged to create a uniformly trained permanent enlisted corps to support the various staff bureaus of the Army. Accordingly, the Hospital Corps was established in 1887 for the medical department. There were few qualified soldiers, however, and fewer incentives to join. Assistant Surgeon Captain John Van R. Hoff said that soldiers viewed litter-bearing at best as extra duty, if not outright punishment. He said, "The sanitary soldier, if required to do his full duty, must work harder than any line soldier, and there is nothing the soldier abhors more than work, except it be drill."
All right, here's that box. I noticed this after recording over here, but this crutch is from Fredericksburg. See? Fredericksburg. So that's from the Civil War. But again, I'll see y'all when we get outside. Yeah, on base apartments, I guarantee it. That's probably why Mom would get an apartment out there and be put in the top floor.
I can sit up there at that top floor.
Oh yeah, sit up there on that top balcony up there,
You bet.
right there.
I can sit there.
Drink your morning cup of coffee.
Drink my morning coffee, yes sir. I'll go look at the train car. You want
I'm on the train car. She's right here. I'll go.
And then we'll go look at the helicopter.
We'll go to helicopters next. Let's go check out this
See the
train
view
car.
over there.
Yeah, there's a couple. I thought there's more than one here. Oh, it says no strollers inside the train car.
Says what?
No strollers inside the train car.
It's locked.
Oh crap. Okay, so we'll see what we can see from out here then.
Can't go in?
They got a padlock on the door.
Well, I'm not climbing for him to go in.
Now you can't go in.
Oh, that's pretty, yeah. I wish we could go in.
The other end's open.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm walking down here the other end. Well, you can't get into a locked door. They got a padlock on that door. It says no stroller, so they will let you in at some point. Well, they put all this stuff to look at when they can't get inside. Yeah, that door's gonna be locked too, so we can't get. So let's go to the helicopters. Well, the train car, y'all can't see the inside of it because it's blocked.
Yeah, do look in the window.
No, you can't. All these are blocked.
This one ain't.
This one ain't blocked.
No. Look inside. And that's probably all it consists of is them letters. I'm gonna go look at the airplane.
I still think it would be cool to see though, but you know, when you can't get inside, you can't get in. I was trying to open the door. You're the one that noticed a padlock on the door.
Yeah, I know. I said it wouldn't open, so I seen that chain.
He's a little smarter than you this time.
No, of course. He's got a few more years in age on me, so he's got more wisdom.
More wisdom.
That's how I look at it. The older you are, the more wisdom you got.
Yeah. That's probably killed on that.
This helicopter, first one here, looks like it's missing some parts.
This and the rotors. This more than the rotors.
Looks like it's missing part of his tail too.
This is tail rotor.
The other one's got the rotors on it.
This is Black Hawk here.
Yeah, this is the Black Hawk. Now, well, I can see why it has the rotors off of it
Tail
though.
rotor right there.
As big as them things are up top, they wouldn't be able to fit up here with them rotors on it. You got some big old rotors on the Black Hawk.
Oh yeah. But see, there's tail rotor right there.
Yeah, it folds in. It just ain't got it just ain't got the blades on it.
You know, don't nothing have blades on it. Yeah, that's Black Hawk there.
Black Hawk helicopter, y'all. Huey's over there. I'm not sure what the name is of the other type of chopper over there is.
Got the blade right there.
Got the blades inside. Yeah, the blades are inside the helicopter,
Inside.
wrapped in plastic. No handhold, so you can't hold each other's hands when
Yeah.
you're flying.
Mm-hmm.
I know that one is
If
a
you
Huey.
think that's what that means, that's all right.
I just don't know what the name of the other one is.
Green over there.
It's a what?
It's called a Jolly Green. That's what we call it.
Jolly Green. And I can see the other, the Korea. There's another part of the Black Hawk over here.
Yeah.
And more of the blades laying down here.
Yeah,
That's a rotor of some kind. And the blades,
from the tail.
yeah, tail rotor. That's what I'm saying. You got that and you got more blades on the ground down there. Let's go check out this helicopter up here. Yep. Yeah. Let's go check this one out here.
They say that helicopters don't actually fly.
Oh yeah?
They hover in a forward attitude. That's what we was told whenever I was going through helicopter repair school in Fort Eustis, Virginia. That they don't actually fly, that they hover in a forward attitude.
There's the Huey.
There's the Huey. That was the most used helicopter of all time. I rode in them. I never got any stick time on them, but I rode in them.
And you probably won't be able to
Wish they
get.
could get inside. But you know they got it locked. Yeah, they got it.
You'd be able to get in and out as easy as you could back in the day, though. You just heard these things run and everything. They call these the Jolly Green. I wish I could see the inside of it.
I'm sitting right back here. And there was a bench go through there. And the guns was, the Hueys I was in, there was a bench right here. And a couple of seats here behind these seats. And we had the gun mounted right here. And this is where the crew chief
Yeah.
sat on this side, door gunner on the other side. And that's what we did.
I see what you mean.
The door stayed open all the time.
Yeah, I see what you mean when you explain everything up there. I see what you mean about the blade, how the rotor is up there now.
The rotor's actually a wing, though.
Yeah.
It's called a rotor wing. like these here, that controls the lead and lag of the blades. Whenever they're coming around, they'll lag a little bit, they'll reach a certain point, they'll go forward, and that's what you hear the pop. It's actually breaking the sound barrier in just a
Yeah.
little short burst. And this
No.
right here, right
I want to see inside of that one.
See this right here at the bottom? That's in the round thing. That's called a swash plate.
Yeah.
What that does, that changes the pitch of the blades, and that's what causes the left, the right, and left turn. The rotor blade here causes the rear tail rotor causes the plane to move to the right, left from the back. The pivot, you know.
These are the helicopters y'all see on the movie, on the TV series MASH. This is,
See, it's got the same
yeah, it's got the same things on the sides and everything.
system, you know, with the swash plates and everything.
Yep.
And let me tell you this, there's a big nut that just threw around, holds that blade assembly
Together, yeah.
there, and it's safety wired in.
I wish I
Every one
could-
of these got it.
I wish I could see the inside.
Those are called the Jesus nuts.
Jesus nuts, yeah.
Yeah, because if you lose one, you're gonna see Jesus. Guaranteed.
I wish I could see the inside of this, because it looks like the pilot sits up above everybody.
Pilot sits right there. Pilot sits right up here. And this is where they put whatever it is that they're gonna do.
I wish I could see the inside of it, man.
I think it's no, it's not.
No, this ain't the Jolly Green. Swirsky.
I'll show you something else.
H9. That right there is the name of it.
Sikorsky?
Yeah,
Huh.
Swirsky. H19.
Sikorsky. All the Sikorskys I've ever seen, the tail rotor was sitting at an angle.
Yeah.
Up there. I don't know why that one
But
didn't. They make a different sound than the rest of them.
that probably takes some memories for you, though, seeing that parked over there, don't it?
Yeah, it does. Door gun in one of them. So I rode on the other side.
Yeah, I got a friend that was inside one of them with a medical thing, and he said there was times they can only just dump the buckets to wash a lot of blood off the floor. I love the way the Hueys look, though. I've always loved how they look. He rode on this side. I'll be back at some point, y'all.